Hello and welcome back to my tutorials. I first want to mention, and it's very, very important to mention, that I have cats and they're on a diet and they're very cranky about this, so they might be vocalizing in the background. Second, my household is not used to me doing tutorials anymore, so they tend to come in and just chat, and then I will have to pause during that. So by request, I was asked how to do morphs, and I'm actually going to start at the beginning because I think that's the most important place to start. um, as you see, I am not in Black Dragon to start with, and I'm not in Black Dragon specifically because I like to get most of my setup done outside of Black Dragon first. Now, your first step is not actually going to be here. It's going to be to find your picture. That's part of the reason why I'm in Black Dragon. Firestorm, is because you're going to want to match your avatar as best as possible to whatever you're going to be morphing. I know that sounds counterintuitive. You're morphing because this picture, this body looks more real, etc. But for the best morphs, you're going to want to try to match them as closely as possible. Second, here's the other reason why I was in here, is you're going to want to find I already found my stock photo. You're going to want to find your matching avatar. Now, most of you are using a very specific avatar. I'm actually going to go find a very specific avatar to match the picture rather than vice versa. And that's because I actually have a lot of avatars. And for me, that means going to my website, which I always forget. There it is. So that I can see all my avatars. I actually made the website just so I could track my avatars. It makes my life easier. Got going, because I don't think I've added her to list yet. I think she might work too. That might make my life a little easier too. Her eyebrows are low enough. I can adjust her head shape if I need to. So I'm going to use her. Alright, so I'm not going to be changing the avatar, which means I don't have to worry about the clothes coming off. I'm going to come out of here. I'm going to go into Black Dragon because I have more control in Black Dragon. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to actually match up the head position. So this is one of the reasons why you want to pick your picture first, because if you do the head position in your snapshot, you're going to have to match it to best as possible to whatever picture you find. And it's going to be hard enough finding stock that's available for use for this kind of thing, especially if you rely on free stock. This particular picture that I have is free stock, and it is from I hate when they cross their names out. Vid27. And once I finish the product, I will throw it down here because that's part of the rules. If you read the rules, there's always rules to stock. This says credit him or her. Credit them. And leave a link to the artwork. It's not for inappropriate content. It specifically states. So make sure you read your stock images rules. All right. So let's go back to, I have too many things up here. And here we're going to pop on my pose stand. Pose. And now I want to look at her background is a bluish color. Best results will be if I turn that to a bluish color. So you see how I'm trying to match as close as possible to the image that I've already selected. This is going to help. And in fact, if I'm being honest, what's going to help the most is going to be if you do not use an actual human being. You use art rather than, let's see, her face here. We need to be able to compare this, so I need to bring this up quickly. There we go. Open. Rather than a person. People are harder to match. I would need to lower the chin a little. Let's see. Angle. I need that a little bit further over so I can see. I may have a problem with the face shape. Her face is really thin, hers is not. I'm going to try to remedy that in Photoshop. One of the things I look at when I take the picture is the angle of this. If I was to say you can't see visually, but I'm putting a debit card up against her chin, and I'm going to turn it around so that I can see. I wonder if I can flip this. That would help a lot. I can flip it in here. I don't know if you noticed before, but when I flip a picture, I click here. There's a reason it brings up this. This is awesome, by the way. You can use this for a lot of things, but as soon as that comes up, I can right click and flip horizontal. Now, it should be easy for me to take the credit card and place it up against the chin and see if I need to tilt more, which I do, just a little. Now, Black Dragon, one of the positives of Black Dragon is it has this handy dandy feature. Oh, I completely forgot to put on music in the background so that my headphones didn't try to escape. So pardon me while I just grab any random music. Okay, music acquired. Sorry about that. I really love these headphones, otherwise I wouldn't try to keep them so much. Now let's put our image back over here, and I can twist this as necessary. So this is kind of a Black Dragon exclusive thing. This allows you to tip the picture as you take it like this. You can also see if it matches up better that way. I definitely need to pull her chin down some though. The reason why you need to pull her chin down rather than just keep flipping until it matches is because then this part isn't going to line up well. I know it seems anal retentive, but I promise it produces better results. So my any pose is going to help me with that. No, turn your head back over there. Uh-oh. Better. Let's fix our eyes. And let's look at the picture. We're going to put you back over here. I think that's fairly close. Let's tip her body back this way. I'm not a huge fan of morphs personally. You lose a lot of the actual avatar in the morph because you have to conform more to the picture in the background. Okay, I think that's a good angle. This is about right. This divots in a little, but we can make that come out. Cheekbone and the angle of her chin. Her chin is down. Now we just need to that's about right, give or take. All right, so now we have the angle. So this is as close as I can get. I could probably get closer, but that would take hours. And I actually wanted to make this a fairly quick one. So now, as usual, we're going to go through our wind lights. And if you missed my other tutorial, wind lights are easy in Black Dragon. They're just right here. You can tweak them more in settings or in preferences. I am not, because again, I'm trying to do this very quickly. Now, for best results, I'm going to want to try to match skin tone again. You'll also notice my avatar's bald. This is necessary. You need the bald avatar to create that kind of look, to be able to blend it well without having to crop off the hair. You're relying on the hair in the picture anyway. Let's see. We want to try to match her shadowings to the best of... Why is the shadowing... Oh, opposite side. Gotcha. So I want the shadows preferably to be on that side. That looks like right about there. I have very poofy cheeks in this one. Lighting. This may be too bright. Oh, no! Oh, shoot. I've got to go back and find that spot again. This happens to me on occasion. I don't know about you guys, but every now and then I will lose how I had the picture. One of the best ways to figure out what angle you need the most is to look at the eyebrows. Does this eyebrow touch the edge on hers? Just barely, but yes. How far does this eyebrow come out over here? You have to judge through the hair. How much of the cheek you see on this side? It's a little better. How much beyond the eye do you see? So you see how you see a little bit beyond the eye over here? And you don't on mine? That means my angle's slightly wrong. See, now you can see a little bit over there. And you have to judge based also on the shapes of the eyes and everything. For instance, there would be more if my eyes were smaller, which they're not. Okay, where was I? I had taken out some of the light, and I was looking at my shadows. Yeah, that's not going to work after all. I'm looking for something right now with good shadows to be able to try to encompass what she has going on over there. So as you see so far, a lot of the morph is done actually taking the picture. That's closer. Can we make that just a little bit brighter? Because that shadow is right where it's supposed to be. That's not going to lighten it any. Nope, our sun's not out. Alright, our ambience. Oh, there we go. That's bringing some light in. Let's see the color of our ambience. Do we want to change that to be helpful? Yes. Oh, that would help. Now we lost a lot of that shadow. I could use a projector or a light to increase that shadow if I wanted to. But I don't want to change. I don't want to pull out because I don't want to lose this angle. Very subtle. We're going to take a snapshot right here. As always, oops, I forgot I put those in there for you guys. As always, it's a really, really good plan. Yeah, you see how it looks pixelated here? It's not going to look like that in the actual picture, I promise. I'm going to do 4,000 by 3,500. Normally I do a little bit bigger because I'm actually editing the picture, but in this one, I'm just putting that picture on another picture. So, too big is almost redundant. Alright. Save. We want this in pictures. Second Life, and I should have a folder that says RAWs. We're going to put this in set 1. I'm going to name it Morph. Alright, Now, I'm leaving this here because I may end up taking more pictures. But what I'm going to try to do, first off, let's unlock that. File, open, backgrounds, RAWs, set. Alright, so you already know how to clip something out, or you should. If you don't, I just use the selection tool here. I'm going to get some of her neck too, because I might end up needing it. Control C, Control V, there we go. And now I'm going to try to line her up to the best of my ability. It's better and easier to line things up when you make it temporarily invisible. Now you can see the eyes and eyebrows, unfortunately, in a really bad place. Like, they're not matching up well. But the shape of the eyes, perfect. Eyebrow space, perfect. Or rather, the size of the eyes. And that's one of the things you need to look at. So we want to try to line that up as best as possible, which may mean, yeah, making the picture just a little bit bigger. It is strange how close this matches. Look, the nose is almost identical. Chin, eyes, let's see what it looks like all the way. Alright, we're going to try to do this like this theoretically. Now, a good portion of the work is going to be done like this. And I'm going to start with my brush, and I'm going to put it, never had a full percent. You can also just use a layer mask. Actually, I recommend that. Let's start with layer mask. Soft brush, and the first thing we're going to do is we're going to pull out all this hair. Notice how I'm saying pull out the hair rather than erase something, because that's what I'm doing. I'm focusing on pulling the hair out first. The hair's what matters. Otherwise, why in the world would I have picked this picture? No, I'm kidding. Whatever matters is whatever piece you're trying to bring forward the most. So if you're doing a morph because you're trying to do a more realistic body, then you're going to want to erase body parts first. Alright, we're going to check to see how well this is matching up. Not too bad. I'm going to sharpen my edges because I'm going to get her chin here. Looks like I didn't need any of her neck after all. And none of this actually needs to be particularly sharp because I'm going to come back and I'm going to be erasing more hair shortly. That's how morphs work. Alright, so as you see, for the most part, my facial features line up well, they're roughly the same size, etc., etc., etc. Coloring does not match yet. We're now going to reduce the hardness once again to a really, really soft brush. We're going to drop our opacity. I recommend in the 20s. And now we're going to start to pull out some of her, the picture beneath. As little of the picture beneath as possible, depending on what you're, again, morphing for. Uh-oh. Ah, that's a shadow, that's why. I was wondering what was going on there. I'm going to try to match her face a little. Alright. The reason why layers is layers allows you more control. So you don't make a mistake and then have to keep messing with it. It actually reduces the amount of time you're doing things. And we're going to start with our brightness and contrast. Oh, and create clipping mask. Because we don't want to brighten up the background, we just want her. Contrast. I think, and I could be wrong, but I think that matches skin tone a lot better. Yeah. Alright. So now when I'm working on up here, it should be a closer match. So as you're seeing, morphing is just a majority of erasing and a little bit color matching. I really don't want too much over here. Oops, Control Z. I don't want up near the nose either. There we go. Up where the hair is coming in, I want more of that. You'll notice I'm not touching over here. And why am I not touching over there? I'm not touching over there because, as you see, my face, if you can see the transparency here, my face comes out excessively over onto the edge. That is way too visible, way too problematic to fix. That means I'd have to change the shape of the person beneath's head. So I'm pretty sure, I'm pretty confident and comfortable with the placement of my head and most of the erasing. Oops, no. There we go. I can do more if I'd like to match it just a little better. I'm going to sharpen this piece beneath, and I'm going to use my smudge tool to do so, because as we know, it's my favorite tool. So right now I'm just sharpening that eraser that's right here. I don't want to do too much. See, I kind of got rid of some of my chin. Not ideal. Let's bring that back. There we go. I do think that's a pretty good job. If at this point it's still not matching really well, you're going to keep tweaking with these things right here. You would add in more layers of hue saturation, brightness contrast, exposure, color balance. Those things are going to help you match the tone well. Now, why did I match my background over here to this one over here? Because I didn't use it, right? If you're using high settings, that's going to reflect against the skin. It's going to actually kind of, I don't know how to put it any other way, or it reflects against the skin, which helps match because in the real world, your background tends to reflect against the skin a little too, especially pale skin. So I'm pretty confident and comfortable with this morph here. It depends on how much I'd like to keep. Some people like to take out more of the face, more of whatever. I like to leave as much of the avatar as possible so that it actually matches. Now from here, I can play around with a variety of things to make this look more like they go together. For one thing, I might add a couple of strands of drawn hair. I'm not going to do that right now. Or your normal editing procedures. So normally I like to add a small or elliptical highlight along the chins and noses. Oops, no. There we go. Oh, my settings on my tablet are acting funny. They're like, it's because touch is enabled. I hate that. No. No to touch. That's why that was acting crazy. I have no clue how some people do that. Have touch enabled. Nope, my opacity's down. Let me put that at full opacity, because I can change that in a minute. Now, you probably wouldn't do this if you're going for realism. That doesn't quite line up. It does now. And then I'm going to lower the opacity to this. Screen. Let's do neither, and we're going to turn it to an orangier color just so that we can match the hair a little more. There we go. It also ties her a little bit closer into the picture. We're going to steal a piece of that color over here. So that's the other way you tie the pictures together, is you try to work with the stuff around it so that it blends well. Oops. Control C. Now, the one other thing you need to know when it comes to doing morphs is copyright laws. This is one of the reasons why it's very important to try to favor stock images, specifically paid stock images. Free ones are nice, but they tend to come with a crap ton of rules, which is fair, but I like freedom. I want to be able to do as I please with my image. Let's see, is there another way to help enhance the lighting here? Not particularly. I could take her background off and put it on something else. Merge visible. Another thing that'll help is, I'll get back to the copyright laws in a minute, is going to be a photo filter. Photo filters will generally tie in everything together, period. I used to use them a ton back when I did more morphs. If you know anything about art, blue and purple counter red, which is why your red gets subdued and a variety of different types of subdued. See all the different blues? That turns this red to pink, a different color pink, and here it's kind of a brownish color. The reason why is because red and blue are on the opposite sides of the color wheel. They kind of mix each other out, kind of. Blue overpowers red. This, by the way, also works with hair dye in case you ever do that. Oranges will always enhance. Green is good for popping the color in regards to like wearing around the color, but on top, again, it doesn't pop it. You see, you almost get a subdued coppery color. Let's drop this down a little. I kind of like that. Oh, that's kind of pretty. All right. And our final piece is where we're going to crop this down. Image crop. Voila, a morphed picture. So copyright laws, I have talked to a lawyer about it many years ago, so I don't know if they've changed since then. It's probably good 5-6 years since last time I spoke to a lawyer about copyright laws. However, copyright laws state that you have to change more than 3/4 of the image if you're going to produce it for financial gain. It is, I believe, 1/3 for non-financial gain, and there's some clause in there about a review. I didn't pay too much attention because chances of me doing a review of something is pretty freaking slim. By the way, if I wanted to continue to tweak this, I'm going to pop her eyes a little. So you have to pay, I would say, close attention to copyright laws when it comes to selecting your images. You can get sued, and you can get sued for a lot of money, even for doing something like a morph. What I did is not, let me repeat, it is not 1/3 of the picture, nor is it 2/3 of the picture. All I did was change her face. And because all I did was change her face, it's not enough. I would have to go through and change coloring, probably draw a lot more hair to be able to skirt the copyright laws. And even then, there's extra laws when it comes to stock images. So this person placed this image up as a stock image, etc. Personally, just think it's the nice thing to do to follow their rules, or to purchase it. It supports your local artists. Can't stress that enough. I know I say it often. There. Now her eyes are a lot more popped. To pop them, I used the dodge tool, midtones, and I kept it at 15 exposure and protect tones, just because I could go over it and over and over it again. And image brightness, contrast. I didn't feel I liked much of that. These are all just finishing touches. This has very little to do with the morph itself. They just help the end product, so to speak. There we go. Now you guys know how to do a morph. Look up your local copyright laws, pay attention to the rules of your stock image, and I hope you have a great time, and I hope you do everything you want to do.